Look, we did well in the first half. Second half felt like a breakup, cause we only went and lost our second half. Pitch green, but the scene was a bloodbath. In pain, don't cry, so we'll just laugh. Wouldn't even change anything if we let Ralph Ragnick go in a hole of the backroom staff. This question's gotta be asked, really. We did well in the first half, but second half felt like a breakup, cause we only went and lost our second half. Pitch green, but the scene was a bloodbath. In pain, don't cry, so we'll just laugh. Wouldn't even change anything if we let Ralph Ragnick go in a hole of the backroom staff. This question's gotta be asked, really. It's gotta be asked.
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, today Manchester United lost against City. Manchester United away. Scoreline 4-1. Manchester United defeated by 4 goals. And to be honest, City deserved it. This scoreline reflects exactly how bad it was. It could have even been more. And you know what, right? In the first leg against City where we lost 2-0, I was there. I was at the game, right? And I didn't think that scoreline reflected the performance that City put in. They deserve more goals, and today they got the goals that they deserved, and it put the nail in the coffin in terms of, you know, how poor we've been. You know, this was one of them important games for me because this is Ralph Ragnick's first real true test. Obviously, he played Atletico Madrid. He got away with a last-minute gasp by Elanga saving us there. But today, you know, obviously, when you've got a team like City who's good defensively, in the midfield, attacking wise, clinical as anything, create loads of chances. Today was going to be a true test for us. And I wanted to see how Ralph Ragnick got through that. The reason why is because I was sort of pondering the idea of whether Ralph Ragnick should be kept on, whether we should still continue with him, or whether we should think about having a new manager, a Ten Hag or Pochettino, what you've been seeing in the news. So obviously today was an exciting day for me. It was an interesting day for me to learn, right? So obviously, when I looked at the lineup now, so before this game even started, I was thinking, you know, Man United should, you know, counterattack City. You can't outplay City, especially this type of Manchester United team that we've got now, where we can't really put 2 passes together consistently throughout the game. Right? I was thinking, you know what, counterattack. We've had success with that before. Play counterattack against City. So my predicted lineup, going attacking wise anyway, was Elanga, Sancho, and who was the other one? And Rashford, just because of Rashford's sheer pace. Ralph Ragnick didn't go with that today. He went with a 4-2-2. So he played, you know, your McFred in the middle, and then your Elanga and Shaw out wide as wide sort of forwards or midfielders, and then he had Bruno and playing a full stand role with Pogba in a very advanced position. So it's like he had 2 strikers. Pogba was playing a striker position as well, and they were kind of rotating that Bruno and Pogba. And in the first half, it went well. Not in the first half, I would say. Maybe in the first 15-20 minutes, it was like perfect. We actually played that reverse role where they were the ones that was trying to counter-attack us. Like, we had a lot of the possession, was applying the pressure, was playing a high line. You know, the fullbacks are getting up high. It was a high press. We had a lot of the ball, and Pogba, Bruno, etc. was creating chances. And even when we went down a goal within the first 5 minutes, I was a bit angry because I know that Manchester United have conceded early many times in the games. And it's like with Manchester United, it feels like when we're playing these games, we're not even starting off on as an equal sort of playing field. It always seems that Man United want to go a goal down and then kick off their game. It's like we're on a handicap mode. I don't know what it is, but Man United love to concede early, or in the second half, we'll concede real early. So beginning of the second half, we'll concede real early, or in the first half, in the start of the game, we'll concede early. And Man United gave away a goal. And you know what? Man United's been getting a lot of luck. Today, we was just up against a real clinical team that creates a lot of chances. But you would see these type of things happen in many other games where teams just don't put away their chances. And where that leaves us is Manchester United thinking that we've come away with a good game, maybe like a clean sheet, or feeling that we've put in a performance. But really and truly, we make a lot of mistakes in these games. But City just called it out. City just called it out because they're so clinical. But yeah, in the first 15-20 minutes, I would say that we put in a shift. Man United were doing everything that I wanted them to do. Do you know what I mean? They were doing everything that I wanted them to do. And I was interested to see Bruno in the full stand role as well, because I know someone like him playing up there, is less prone to making the mistakes or giving the ball away because he's the highest one up the pitch. So people are trying to find him. But you would have saw for our what do you call it? Our equalizing goal. Bruno, he gets around, right? He gets around, so he's always chasing down the ball. So he dropped deep and then he laid it off to Pogba. Pogba found Sancho, and these guys were behind, you know, the wingers. So I thought, you know, Pogba and Sancho playing naturally. Bruno's going to drop deep, and Pogba sometimes will drop deep anyway, and then feed in the wide play. So I thought Elanga and Sancho's going to have a lot of the ball today because I thought they will act as Bruno and Pogba will act as like a Harry Kane type role, like he does for Son, where he drops in deep at times and then pings in the ball. And you know what? Sancho benefited off that. At his equalising goal, he took it nicely. You know what I mean? And he done a humble celebration. I don't think he needed to do a humble celebration, but he did. And a good thing that he did, because how silly would we have looked if he was jumping around doing milli walk and that, and we just go and concede 4 at the end of the day. But you know, it was respectful, and his goal was real clinical, done really well in taking that chance. But outside of that, I mean, second half, it just all went wrong. It really did go all wrong, man. And for me, I don't think it was a tactical issue on Ralph Rangnick's part. I just feel like Manchester United, we really do lack the basic. We just lack the basic things. We really do lack the basic things. I see players like, I was watching Roy Keane in his post-match interview, post-match discussions with Micah Richards and the gang, and you see Fred, for example. Yeah, he does a lot of running. I give him that. He's got his work ethic spot on, but at times in the game, like he switched off. Like that game where the second, was it the second goal, City's goal, where the ball went through Maguire's legs. I'll get onto that in a minute. But we see Fred sort of standing there like a bystander, just watching it play out instead of him trying to track back and influence that, try and retrieve the ball. He's sort of watching it playing out like he's given up, like he's taking himself out of the situation. And then no point in the game should we be doing that, any one of our players. As long as that ball's not in the net and you see the City's on the offensive, you need to be trying to get back to support your team members. And you know what? Fred was just standing there. And on Maguire as well, it's just... Maguire is one of those ones where I don't even blame him. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Like, he costs 80 million. It's not his fault. He's captain. It's not his fault. He plays week in, week out, basically. It's not his fault. So meanwhile, I can't really be getting angry at Maguire because I know what Maguire's about. He's shown me what he's about. I know his weaknesses, and he gets exploited for that. And what Phil Foden done to him was disrespectful. It reminded me of what Bruno Fernandes, did where he set up Elanga and he scored. You know what I mean? It was disrespectful. And Foden, De Bruyne, Grealish were totally disrespectful today. All those three took the Aaron Wan-Bissaka's side. He got mewed. He got lynched, hanged by those three, targeted. But I'll get onto Wan-Bissaka in a minute. But yeah, Maguire, it's not his fault. So he could have had that opportunity where, he had the opportunity to clear the ball. He let the ball roll through his legs, right? And I don't understand why the ball came back out to him. He could have just knocked it out for a corner, real casual. He lets it roll through his legs, and then it led to De Bruyne taking that chance and scoring. You can't do that. You're a captain. You cost 80 mil, whatever you cost. You can't do that, bro. There's too many mistakes, and basic mistakes. Work ethic's not there from all members of on the pitch. Work ethic, simple, basic decision making is not there, bro. Hunger, desire is not there, and it leads me to think, right? It's not like certain people say, oh, like if we had this player, this will look different. If we had that manager, this will look different. But for me, the basics ain't there. And I'm thinking, wow, like before I used to think, we've got a good team. A manager just needs to come in and make this team tick. Now I'm starting to think, no manager can come in and make this team tick. If there is any manager that's gonna come in and make this team tick, I don't even know if it's a Poch or Ten Hag. And I know Poch in the past has got, he has a thing for like high running with Tottenham, like he's the team that run the most, covered a lot of ground, right? But he's at PSG, and that's not happening. And I know he's got the you know, your Messi's, your Neymars, and all of those guys that are maybe above that, above putting in the grind, the hard work. But you have to forget he's coming to Manchester United, where we've got a lot of divas at Manchester United as well. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot of guys that don't really want to put in the work, haven't got that work ethic in them, that don't run for the full 90 minutes. So it might just be, I don't know what the solution is going to be at Man United, because, yeah, I mean, look, Ralph Rangnick even flipped it up, went to a 4-2-3-1. It was bad. Do you know what I mean? It was bad. Like, everything about that second half was terrible. And it puts me in a position where I'm just like, I just can't believe Man United's turned into this. It feels like there's no hope. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? We're just getting played off the pitch. The fans are singing Olays, Olays, Olays. You know, City's putting a string of 10, 20 passes together. Fluid. It was just fluid. Plays a pass, and there was just nothing from Man United. After we conceded that third goal, we waved the white flag. We called it a day. Guys mentally checked out. Went back to their changing rooms. They checked out. You know, the fans, to a point, yeah, they turned around, looked away from the pitch and started jumping. It's embarrassing. The embarrassment is so deep. Like, as a passionate Man United fan like me, it hurts, man. It really does hurt. It hurts when your team in a derby like this gets played off the pitch like that. No passion, no drive. Where was the clap? Look, if I'm hearing old lays, you think like in Roy Keane's days, you're hearing teams do ole, passing around. They're telling me someone ain't picking up a yellow through a crunching tackle, or even a red. Look, we ain't got that to play for anyway. Look, you need to let them know that you're about. Nah, them players there, they're last of the damn breed. They're gone, man. They're gone. You know, certain fans are calling for Roy Keane to take management of this team, not necessarily because he's the greatest coach, just because they just want someone that's got that mentality in our dressing room to just hairdryer treatment, to throw that boot if necessary. I don't condone violence, but do you know what I mean? It just feels like there's no leaders. There's no one that's like, these players need someone to be scared of. Like, when I see Pep, right, give his interviews, right, I can feel like this anxiety behind his voice. I can hear this it's like very like anxiousness on him, even if he's winning, or even if like he's 5 points clear on the table, 10 points clear on the table, whatever it is. He's got this attitude to him, and you can see it filtrate into each of those players. Look, when Manchester United, like when City man gave away the ball, can't remember who it was. I don't know who had the ball. Was it Scott McTominay or whatever? I saw like 4-5 man like running for their life, like their life depended on it, to go and retrieve that ball. Cool. Like 4-5 man running like their life depended on it to retrieve that ball, and they collected that ball. We have guys like Scott McTominay running, but he's not a ball winner. He made so many mistakes, by the way. He's not a ball winner. Fred, you know, done a lot of running. He won the ball back a few times. But how many ball winners have we got in the team? How many man them do you see collectively, joint effort, chasing the ball down? Do you know what I mean? How many times you saw when Rooney, you knew what was happening when Rooney or someone like that lost the ball. Bro, he's running from one end of the pitch to the other end of the pitch if he has to. And if you don't win that ball, he's taking you out. These days, you just got guys that just stand there. They just raise their hands like, oh man, and start complaining, looking at the next man to come bail them out, or looking at the next man to complain. It's just this team, and I just start to think, like, can any manager fix this team? And with the managers that we're linked to, with Ten Hag, like, he's very tactical, right? He's got a football brain, so it'll be along the lines of the Ralph Rangnicks that we have today. But do Man United need that manager? Are we ready for that type of manager? Are we? I sit there and think, I know that Ralph Rangnick hasn't been in a job for a while, and maybe that Man United just need years of this being ingrained and woven in their sort of stitching, their DNA, right? Because we've just been playing crappy football all these years and changing managers like that. But one, I really do feel like there's a new manager that comes, needs the time, all the time. If Ralph Ragnick's staying, fair enough. He needs the time and the backing to bring in the type of players that he feels that can suit what he's trying to do. Because right now, these players, they ain't got the mentality. They switch off. When that third goal went in, they just locked off. It's like, turn off that off button and said, I'm done. Because they looked at City and thought, you're already good. Like, I ain't gonna come back anyway. The fighting spirit was dead. It's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating watching. It's so frustrating. You look at Bernardo Silva in the first goal that City had, the first 5 minutes, whatever. He's getting past Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay, Lindelof. He should never be allowed to get past them and put a ball into the box for De Bruyne to finish. Should never. How is he beating? How's De Bruyne beating three? Bernardo Silva beating three men? How? Like, how? It's so easy for these guys like to skip past our players, drill a ball into the box. I mean, we've been saying this all the time. When Luke Shaw was playing on this side, we'll be saying the same things on this side as well. They just find it too easy to just whip a ball into our net. No closing down, there's no blocking, there's no nothing. This is what happens when you're up against a clinical team like City. They're going to punish you. And Man United, look, they were having fun. They were playing with us. Look, Bernardo Silva towards the end, Gundogan or whoever. They could have got another couple of goals. I mean, shout out to the referee. He let the game flow, but I just needed him to stop the game at times so that we could just breathe and recoup, man, because it was terrible. It was totally terrible, man. I don't know. I can't even begin to explain like the feeling right now. That flip that Foden did, man. Foden and De Bruyne just killed. They killed us. It killed us. Killed us, man. It's mad. Lindelof, terrible game. Terrible game. I mean, I remember Lindelof doing the odd thing well where Lindelof likes to hit that over the ball, sort of from deep, like here over the ball, over the midfield, straight to the striker. He did that. I don't even know who it landed to. Was it Sancho, whoever? Sancho had a chance off the back of that. I felt like he should have done that more. Especially where you have City that play behind line. I feel like we should have done that more. Hit it over, straight route one. Because what else did we have? We should have just we had a lot more success bypassing all of that midfield. Lindelof just knocking them long balls over. We should have done more of that, really, because we had a chance. We carved a chance out of that. No, I remember one point where City had 92% possession. I think overall it averaged out to about 70%. But what was the point of Manchester United doing anything other than route one? We might as well. And this is what my thing about, you can't really outplay City. This is why I was thinking, you know what? Just go with the pace. Pogba did well for the time he was on, don't get me wrong, but for the system, for the tactics of getting a result out of City, we needed to. I remember certain fans being kind of happy offline, at the performance. And yeah, we did okay, but I was still upset because if we're losing, I'm always going to be upset. Like, yeah, we played well in the first half or parts of the first half, but if we're losing, we're always going to be upset. And look, Man United is a team as well that you just don't know what you're getting each half. Not even like each game, each half. Like Man United in the second half, we didn't come out. You can never get excited. You can never feel too happy that Man United is gonna go on to like do well, because Man United is just so unpredictable, so inconsistent, and more unpredictable in a way where we're doing it's a bad thing rather than a good thing. Dropping points. Right now, Arsenal's got 3 games in hand. 3 games in hand. Do you know what I mean? We've played 28 games or something like that. Arsenal's played 25. 3 games in hand. They've got 48 points on the board. They're already above us. I think we got 47, they got 48. 3 points, 3 games in hand. You know, they can be 9 points clear of us. Chelsea is above them. He's got 2 games in hand. They got 53 points. Man United, like, I know the fans have been like, forget top 4, but really and truly, like, forget it. It's even getting to a point where mathematically, like, yeah, I know, like, you know, if you do the maths, you can, but when you start talking about double digits gap in points at this stage of the season, and you're fighting against your Arsenals or your Tottenhams or your Chelseas, whatever, just, it's a wrap. Man United's only chance of getting top 4 is us winning Champions League. That sounds even funny to say. It sounds even funny to say. Mahrez, man, it was too easy. It was too easy. That goal that he scored, it was too easy. It's training ground. No one was marking Mahrez in the box. That's a schoolboy error. It's basics. It's the basics. And this is what I mean about, I don't know. The job seems bigger than a manager, bro. It seems bigger than a manager. United really need a total cleanse. You know? It's tough. It's really, really tough watching this team, man. Really tough. You know, I just don't understand how certain guys still get game time. You know, Maguire, how he still plays, I don't know. I really don't know. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, poor today. Poor today. Do you understand? Like I said, the team in the first half, parts of it look good, look decent. You know, second half, towards the end of the first half, poor. Everyone was just poor. And there's no coming back from this, man. There's no coming back from this. United, man, like I say, we need a total clear out. I just want the season to end, to be honest. And I just feel like, you know, what direction do we need to go in? Like, we really need in my opinion, we need a Conte type, we need a Simeone type, we need someone that just based on work ethic. We need work ethic in our team. We need managers that's not necessarily going to go for the star names, not going to go for the names that can sell shirts. Yeah, as you can see, those guys don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in a shift. We need, you know, funny enough, more guys like Phil Jones that's got the mentality to put their body in the line, to put their heart and soul in the game. Yeah, they may get ridiculed, but bro, man's heart's in it. You know, his heart's in it. He was crying when he got subbed off after his first game. Yeah, there's a lot behind it. Him not playing for a long time, you know, injury ridiculed, you know, sort of career, but he wears his heart on the sleeve. And Man United ain't got enough of those guys. Yeah, we got Varane, he's the perfect centre back, but where is he? How much of the season has he missed? How much of the season has Cavani missed? How much of the season did Pogba miss? They're just injured too much. We need managers that understand that, right? Okay, do you want a Mane type that's less glamorous, less popular, less Instagram followers and Twitter and social media sort of following, or do you want a Sancho? Where, don't get me wrong, Sancho's doing well and I'm happy for him and I'm glad we got him. Do you understand? But when we're looking at these, when we looked at Sancho, was there the thought process behind Sancho of him being 1, British, him being 2, maybe marketable? Like, yeah, it's worked out for us and Sancho's coming into his stride and he's coming good. But the original thought process of why we're linked to certain players, why we're trying to get certain players, what's behind it? Are you truly looking at a guy thinking, you're the right fit for this squad? You've got the attributes, you've got the discipline, you've got the drive, you've got the hunger, you've got the leadership skills, you've got the work ethic. You know what I mean? You've got the tactical nous on and off the pitch as well, the mentality to do well at Manchester United, that loves to play for Man United, that he knows what it means, you know what I mean? Puts his heart on his sleeve. Or you just buying players or linked with players just because they play for England or they're marketable and, you know, sponsorships are going to be all over it and it's going to bring in revenue for the club. You know, because that's the issue. Like, we're linked with how many right backs? Then we worked for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Apparently, we've done a big, massive scouting network for right backs. We ended up with Aaron Wan-Bissaka right in your front doorstep, you know, in the Premier League. You know, Man United don't really try. And I think the only benefits of guys like Ten Hag and your Ralph Ragnick, if he was to stay on, is the fact that those guys, well, Ralph Ragnick anyway, I feel more, maybe Ten Hag, will be linked with guys that are not fancy, guys that are not star names. They're not those guys that can sell shirts like that, but it's more putting the football first, putting the mentality first. And I think that's why you will see us linked with guys that probably cost 40 million, 50 million, 30 million. You know, it's not those bait commercial guys that's going to cost 100 million, 80 million, 90 million. Because we can see, like, Harry Maguire, the reason why that guy's still playing and starting is because he's our captain. He costs 80 million. He's England's captain. It's hard now to bench guys like that. It's hard to strip a guy like that as well. Like, it's very difficult. When I look at Harry Maguire, I said this before, when I look at Harry Maguire, we faced the same situation where we had Wayne Rooney. And when Wayne Rooney was in his decline in his career, where it was kind of like paving out, we just didn't sub him. We just didn't get rid of him. He always played, and we would always be like, oh, you know, why is he still playing? He eventually dropped into midfield, Wayne Rooney. But look, he was the star boy of England. It was Man United. It was the Man United legend. We buy players that we can't bench, we can't rotate, because we're just worried to, we're afraid to, they're too big they're too big a name. And if they do get dropped, they don't get dropped for too long. I mean, you see them bench, but they'll be back in like a week or two. Like Maguire, you know, like Rash, Wan-Bissaka, whatever. They'll be back in 2-3 weeks. But I feel like guys do need a nice, relaxing time on the bench. I know it's tougher to do that now because of the squad depth and everything that's happened with the loans and the issues and, you know, with players. We need these guys, but I really feel like Man United really should be changing the direction of the type of players that we're looking at. Because I don't think this is about, people say, oh, the ability, like, look at your team. It's not about even the skill set, the ability, whether this player is world class, whether that player is world class, this person costs that much, that person costs this much. It's literally about mentality. When we went when that third goal went in, our heads dropped. The world saw that. The world saw that, you know, that whoever was watching that game saw that. We waved the white flag. That should never happen in a derby against City. I don't care if it's the 89th minute and we went 3-1 down. We should never be doing it. And, you know, the mentality there, you got guys walking on the pitch, standing still on the pitch. It's not what Man United should be about. It shouldn't be what Man United should be about. And yeah, I just feel like, yeah, it's a lot. We've been talking about rebuilds, and yeah, it's probably gonna have to be another rebuild. But it's going to be a tough rebuild because a lot of the guilty culprits are the guys that are key figures at Man United. Like Rashford, right? We all know he's a quality player. And because he's a quality player, and because he's so young, and because of the type of person he is, the figurehead, he's probably one, you know, if he's probably 1-2 good seasons away from getting himself built a statue because of all the works he's done in the past on the pitch, and obviously what he's been doing off the pitch. It's these names that how, as a manager coming in, it's tough. You have to be ruthless to be able to say, Rashford, you're gone. Mourinho wanted to do that with your Pogba's or your Luke Shaw's or whatever. He's ruthless. Conte as well is ruthless like that. You know, how many managers are you going to get that's going to say, you know, you're going to say, oh, Rash, you might be quality, but you don't quite fit this style. And the board's going to allow it as well. That's another thing. Is the board going to allow it? Because the board are happy to block certain sales with Martial as well back in the day. Mourinho wanted to sell. How many people is going to say, do you know what, Maguire, you're the club captain, but I'm going to strip you. You ain't good enough to be starting. In fact, you're probably not even good enough for the club. I'm going to sell you. How many managers are going to do that? Is the board going to allow that type of manager to take over Manchester United? We're talking about, you know, a thorough process to understand the philosophy and whatever it is before we appoint a new manager. But I really just think Man United's thinking this. If I say don't sell, do you agree? If the answer is yes, then you're hired. Man United's probably thinking, you know what? If I say X, are you going to do Y? If you do Y, I don't want you. That's what it comes down to. Because really and truly, Man United's not going to want to lose that 80 million investment that they've done to sell Maguire for what? Who's going to take it? 30 million? 40 million max? Big loss. you got like no one's gonna want to see their star boy Rashford getting sold. You know, and Wan-Bissaka cost 50 million. No one's really gonna want him seeing. No one in the board is gonna want to see that investment go down the window, go down the drain as well. Especially when you can't recoup the money because no one's coming in. It's big decisions that needs to be made. But what Man United need to do, and this is why I say it's going to be tough with Man United, and it's more than the board because Man United, it's more than the manager because Man United really do need to be like, you know what, I need to cut my losses. I really need to cut my losses. But Manchester United board, are they going to allow the manager and give him the autonomy and free reign to be able to do that? Because yeah, I feel like Manchester United will do it to a certain degree, you know? When Mourinho wanted to sell Luke Shaw, having issues with Luke Shaw or wanted to sell Martial, etc., the board said no, they intervened. If a new manager comes in now and says, you know what, I've tried, or even Ragnick wanted to do it and say, you know what, I've tried, Ralph, you've got to go. I mean, Rashford, you've got to go. You know, whoever, you know, these star names are Maguire, you got to go. Are they going to get the free reign? I don't think they are. And that's where the issue is. Because you can't have a true rebuild and a full sort of starting afresh if the manager doesn't have the autonomy to be able to do that in all areas of the pitch, not just getting in an extra DM or another forward, do you know what I mean, or another centre back. They need full reign to say, do you know what, these are the players that's going to work, and these are the players that I need to bring in, and these players need to be sold or hold bench. And until that happens, Manchester United's always going to be in this predicament. We're always going to be in a situation where we fix maybe this element of the pitch or the way we play, like, you know, but this element is going to be messed up. It's always going to be something that's going to be an issue. And I know the board is not really in the limelight these days after ESO it went down the drain, but the reality of it is, it starts with them. It starts with them. Ten Hag is just a shiny new toy. Will come Man United. It will look good against certain teams. You'll be getting excited. But really and truly, we're only ever going to be competing for top four unless big movements change and big things change. And it starts at board level, in my opinion. Look, Man United, man. Look, we got Tottenham. We got Tottenham on Saturday. I ain't got high hopes of that. The season's done anyway. So it is what it is. Man United might as well be, Ralph Ragnick might as well be trying things that he wanted to try. Maybe bring on Hannibal Mejbri and, you know, all of these things. Just try things that you wanted to, you know, get some answers that you wanted to get, you know, with certain team members and players in a youth system, because, you know, we've seen everything we need to see right now. And right now the season can end for us. And it wouldn't make any difference. Man. So it's another poor day in the office, man. But we go again, man. But it was totally embarrassing, man. Totally embarrassing. And Man United seem like we just can't be fixed. It seems like Man United is cursed. And yeah, nothing more to be said. But until then, look, we go again. Tottenham on Saturday, like I said. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe if you agree. Give a thumbs up if you don't. You know, leave a comment. Let me know what you disagree on. Let me know. Share your opinion. You know, follow me on Instagram at OT99_banterroom. TikTok at OT99banterroom, all one word. And Twitter at 99banter. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.